Hey everyone, Andrew Prober here with Great Expectations Realty, and today it is time for What's Up Ocala. I know it's Tuesday instead of Monday, but we had some family stuff to do yesterday, so I wasn't able to get that done. Plus it has been a really long week and it is only halfway through Tuesday. It's like been the longest week ever. Anyway, did want to give you the update though, because I was able to find some really cool information that I wanted to share with you guys. Really interesting information. Did you happen to go on money.com where home prices are rising the most? Guess who made number 2 on the list? That's right, Ocala, Florida. The place where most people couldn't even tell where it was located on a map before. And now we are number 2 on the list. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, wow. Punta Gorda, by the way, Florida was number 1 at 34.4%. But yeah, we actually were in at 33.8%. It has been raising like crazy. The other one was Ogden, Clearfield, Utah was number 3. Lakeland, Florida was number 4. So we had a lot of Florida on there, and not like South Florida. It was Central Florida. Very strange. Let's see, Decatur, Alabama, 28.9% increase. Tampa, again, going into that Central Florida area. Tampa came up 28.8%. Fort Collins, Colorado, 28.4%. North Point, Bradenton, Sarasota, Florida. Okay, so going down into the South Florida area, 28%. And then North Myrtle Beach, North Carolina, South Carolina area, I guess, it's 28%. And Salt Lake City, Utah came in at number 10 at 27.9%. That is crazy. There was so much Florida on that. So Florida apparently is extremely popular this year. It's basically people looking for less expensive housing, and those areas, especially, Ocala, Lakeland, those are more, well, I should say less expensive. I was going to say more or less expensive. I can speak English today. I really can. It's been a rough week. But those are the less expensive areas. Those are not, they're like landlocked. So it's not like we have, gorgeous beaches with palm trees. We do have palm trees, but we don't have the beachfront. So, so less expensive, especially for Florida. We have some fantastic weather, but we don't have to deal with the hurricanes because, we don't really get hurricane force winds. I think we've only had it like once out of, 20 years, 30 years, something like that. So, kind of interesting. You guys are moving all down to Ocala, of all places. Like our little tiny town. What in the world? It's so weird. To me, it's weird. I've been living here for decades. So to me, I'm just like, what? We made national news of being the most increased because everybody wants to move to Ocala. Who'd have thunk it? I don't know. It's just crazy. Apparently the secret is out. The person that sent me over this article, he was just like, I guess I guess the secret's out. And I'm like, truthfully, I've not been so great with keeping the secret. Actually, obviously, I've really been terrible about it. I mean, I love Ocala. I definitely love to share it with everyone. I think it's a very unique town. I think it has a lot of things to offer, a lot of fun things to do. But yeah, apparently the nation agrees with me and you guys are all moving down here. So very cool. I guess we can take that as a compliment, but I did my own research. You can see how scribbled down. I actually had spreadsheets and pages and, I got it down to 3 lines. So you're welcome. But no, I pulled up, I wanted to see really, actual average home sale prices and percentage rates and kind of share that over the course of 3 years because I wanted to get it pre-pandemic. So I did for the month of January from 2020. So at that point, we really hadn't heard much of anything. So January 2020, the average house price for a single family home in Marion County, Florida was $182,597. So all of those videos that you guys see up on our YouTube channel where I'm like, you can get a brand new construction, really nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double car garage, cookie cutter home, brand new for $200,000, totally accurate. I pulled it up on the reports. And the interest rate was very reasonable at 3.5%. Now, cut to January 2021, and of course, at that point, we were just kind of trying to get ourselves balanced out and figure out what on earth is going on. So January 2021, the house prices had escalated up to $228,421 for the average house price. That's, basically mansions and 2-bedroom houses, all of it combined. So average house price between all of them, $228,421, but the interest rate was only at 2.65 was the average interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage. That was really, really super low. And I know that I have videos where I was like, look, I can't go anywhere from here but up. Well, that day has come. So let's go over to this week. This week, as of right now, our average house price is $317,336. And unfortunately, the interest rate is definitely going up. Right now, we've got 5.42%. And that's like national average. And that is ticking up, hourly. So probably by the time you go to, try and get a mortgage, it's probably going to be closer to 6%. It's ticking up like crazy. So yeah, I'm trying to lock in our buyers and trying to get that interest rate right there. If they're purchasing right now, there's no reason not to lock a mortgage in. Just try and get the best rate for them because it's going up. Unfortunately, I do think we are going to go into the double digits. We haven't been in the double digits in quite a while, but with the demand for housing being what it is, yeah, I think we are going to go into the double digits, which is just kind of crazy. So I hope not. I really hope that it stays right around 6%. I just don't really see that happening. So yeah, we're going to see some really, really high interest rates. But, we will weather that storm. It will probably, it'll probably make it so that the house prices aren't going to continue rising as quickly as they've been rising, because it's going to kick a lot of people out of the market. They're not going to be able to afford as much house as they would like, or any house, because they're just not going to be able to pay those high interest rates or higher interest rates. Truth be told, 5.42%, that is actually not that bad. But when you were looking at the year before, 2.65, and you got approved at the 2.65, now you're looking at a house payment that is so much higher and nothing's really changed. And then you've got also the sales price on the house so much higher. So I think we are going to start seeing maybe not huge reductions in prices for houses, but we are going to see a steady decline in the escalate. Like, it's going like this right now. And I think it's going to kind of level out and be more stable. So for all of those out there that are actually looking to sell your home and you're waiting to hit the top of the market to be able to get the most money, the only way you hit the top of the market is because you're coming down the other side. So yeah, all things being equal, I would say probably now is the time. Go ahead and get that house on the market. If I've ever told you the truth before, please believe me now. Get your house on the market, because there's just going to be fewer and fewer buyers that are going to be able to pay that higher percentage rate and that asking price of the house. So you're either going to have to come down or the interest rate is going to, and I don't see that happening. All right, so we're going to get past that news. I do have, for all of Central Florida, basically, the April 2022 residential stats. So, I love sharing those with you. I love getting this little report, and it popped up today and I was so excited. So, see, if I hadn't done my video yesterday like I was supposed to, I wouldn't have had this information. So until next week. Anyway, so, all right. So now keep in mind, this is from Stellar MLS. Stellar MLS covers, I think 10 counties, going up to Gainesville, Marion County, is basically Central Florida is basically what it's covering. It used to be called Mid-Florida MLS, and now it's Stellar MLS. But this is for all of that area. So Tampa is in there, Orlando's in there, all of that. Active listings from April 21, we had 20,000 listings on the market. As of April of 22, we've got 16,748. Now it sounds like that's really bad, right? Except that in March, so just the month prior, we only had 14,696. So that means more houses came on the market. Actually, we were up 14%. So 16,748, we were up 14% in a single month. So I think sellers are starting to get the idea, like, hey, we're at the pinnacle, we're at the top, like, let's let's do this. So kind of interesting there. As far as new listings, we had a little over 21,000 new listings hit the market, and that's not too much of a change from last year or from last month even. April 21, we had 21,480. March, we had 21,691. So that 21,226, that's right about average. There's not a lot of new houses hitting the market. So I guess it's just how long they're on the market for, because those others, that 60,000, that's the active listings. So I guess they're just on the market for longer. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to read the report correctly. All right. Pending sales. Okay, yeah, here's where it is. So we're down 8% from last month and 6% from last year as far as pending sales. So it looks like houses are starting to stay on the market a little bit longer. Kind of interesting. So we have the same amount coming on, but more of them are staying on. Ooh, kind of interesting. All right, listings sold 18,007. Which sounds like a lot of houses, except that is down 7% from March, and it's down 16% from April of 21. So, okay. I think those interest rates are starting to hit a few people. That is for sure. Average days on the market, here we've got 16. So in April of 21, we actually had 34 days on the market. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I'm thinking maybe it's like back on the market. I don't know. This is a really weird report. I haven't had such a weird report for a while. Total sales volume 7.9 billion. Wow, that's a B. And that is actually down 3% from the month before. That's a lot. 3% of 7.9 billion that's a lot. Just saying. That's like extra third of a billion in there. That's a lot. So sales are slightly down across the board. So kind of interesting there. And those are closings. So just because they got it under contract doesn't mean they actually got it to closing table. So I'm thinking we're seeing some back on the market issues going on. Sales price, the average sales price is still up. It's up 4% from last month, and that's again across all of Central Florida. And it's up 20% on average from April of 21. So yeah, even though here in Ocala, the average house price is $317,336. That is not the case in all of Central Florida. We're still less expensive on our houses because the average sales price for all of Central Florida, including Lake Tampa, Lakeland, Orlando, those bigger areas, and even Gainesville, if you put all of those in, the average is $443,931, which I know is pretty accurate because my friend Krista Torrens over in Orlando, if you ask her if she can find you a house over there for like $400,000 or $500,000, she'll be like, you might want to go over to Ocala. So, yeah, because we're only an hour away from Orlando. So yeah, it is very hard. We actually probably bring their average sales price down just because we're included in the mix, because we're at that 317,000. So kind of interesting. Months of inventory were still less than 1 month. That was the same for March 22 and the same for April of 21. So that has not changed. It's basically how many weeks are left in the market. We really don't have much inventory at all around here. We have, new home sales that basically, we do have some new home sales that do help with that inventory, but yeah, kind of interesting how that's working out. So Okay, so that is that information. I did want to share something. I saw this really cool article in Florida Realtors. 20 questions to ask when buying a condo. Now, why did I find this interesting? Well, so many of my friends out there are purchasing condos because they're selling their big old huge large house, and they're like, you know what? This is top of the market. I don't really trust the rental market right now, which you shouldn't. The rental market is way harder on people than the sales market. I know the sales market is tough, but rental is worse. Because, you know, a lot of these landlords are seeing the house prices go really, really high, and they're like, you know what? I think now is a time to sell. And so even if you have been in the house for 5 or 10 years or whatever, they're like, you know what? I'm so sorry. You're going to have to move because this house is going up for sale. So there's not a lot, you know, if they're out of a lease, then yeah, the houses are getting sold right and left. So, you know, I can't really blame the landlords because, you know, they're definitely getting their return on their investment, and they're investing in other areas or other things. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't really want to go into a rental. It's just not really stable. So the rental market right now. So maybe what I can do is go ahead and sell my big 4-bedroom house or whatever, and I will go ahead and buy a condo. Well, buying a condo is very different from buying a house. So I definitely wanted to share 20 questions to ask when buying a condo. And also, if you are one of those that are out there selling a condo, these are the questions that buyers are going to ask. So please write these questions down so you can already get the information available. So if you already provide the information, it'll go much smoother and it's not a huge shocker as far as what they're doing. All right. So let's go to it. Condition. Of course, they're asking the condition of the interior of the condo because, of course, the exterior of the condo basically is part of the condo association. So they're not really like looking at the roof with that question. They're talking about the interior. Has it had any leaking, especially if it's a downstairs unit, there's a condo above you, you know, stuff like that. Common areas, are the common areas well maintained? Just because you have common areas and a condo association manager does not mean that it's the best condo association management. So maybe if they are not being well maintained or they don't have many amenities or common areas or whatever, that is an issue. So, you know, that is one of the questions that should be asked. Definitely checking on that. Anybody that is considering purchasing a condo, please stop by the amenities and take a look. I mean, if it's looking like it's falling apart or something, you might maybe not want to be purchasing in there. But just take a look around, see how well maintained it is. For sale, how many condos are for sale? If there's a large percentage of condos that are all for sale all at the same time, or if there's a huge high turnover rate, there may be a problem. Maybe there's an issue with the condo board or something. I've definitely been to condo complexes before where, you know, there was the lady with her, you know, clipboard and her sun visor, and she was going out. She was not the condo association manager. She was on the board, and she had a pair of binoculars on, and she was counting the plants on people's balconies to make sure that they had no more than 3 potted plants on their balcony. Seriously, you got to find something else to do with your time. Oh my goodness. So if there's an issue with like something like that, it can prove to be difficult. So every single little thing you do is monitored, and it's kind of creepy, truthfully. I'm kind of independent myself, in case you haven't noticed. I'm pretty sure you have, but I have a hard time with a very, very strict homeowners association or condo association. Now, some of them are absolutely amazing. I live in an HOA, but it's only like $10 a month, and you know, they're not super strict. They're just enough to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not getting everybody's business. It's kind of nice. I like it. So I can't say all HOAs are truly difficult, but they also prove a point where, you know, maybe not, you kind of have that tightrope walk of being too strict and too lax. You don't want either one of those. So because you don't want, your value to go down because your neighbor is not taking care of their property or whatever. So, all right, owner occupied. What percentage of the units are owner occupied? If you have a lot of units that are rented, you may have a harder time getting financing. If it's primarily rentals and tenant occupied, that could be a big deal, like a really big deal. So definitely finding out that information if it's at all possible, that would be great. Doing a quick search and seeing if there's any rentals available in there or if they've been up on the market. That's a really good way to find out. Condo fees. Oh, please ask that right in advance. How much are the condo association fees and what do they cover? Please. Some people just automatically assume that they cover like trash and water and basic cable and, all these things. They don't sometimes. Sometimes they don't cover anything except for maybe common area maintenance. So very careful. Just because it has a low condo association fee does not mean that that's a good thing. Sometimes it's actually a negative. So you want to make sure that you have that figured out. And if there's no amenities, why would there be a high condo association fee? Or if there's a lot of amenities, then maybe it seems high, but it's actually pretty reasonable. If they're covering everything but your electricity, that's not bad. That's not bad. So look into to see exactly what the fees are and what they cover. Reserves. I know this is it seems like an odd one, but it actually is a really good question to ask. I took the CAM course just because I wanted to understand condo association management. I quickly understood within that weekend course that it was nothing I wanted to have anything to do with personally because I can't. No. If you are on a board for a condo association manager or an HOA, I highly recommend that you take the weekend CAM course. It is enlightening. It is amazing. There are so many board members that, get elected as president or vice president or treasurer or whatever, and they don't take that weekend course. I honestly think it should be mandatory because it's just absolutely enlightening. Anyway, so reserves. Does the association have adequate reserves for emergencies and renovations? If not, what's going to happen is you'll end up getting a special assessment. So finding out what the reserves are for and how much they are, that's awesome. The best boards keep a reserve for contingencies. Absolutely amazing. You're going to have repairs. You're going to have things break. It's not an if, it's a when. So having that money set aside is amazing, especially if they have that money set aside already. Like if they know that the roofs are going to need to be replaced, they are already built. Like how much are the roofs in 15 years when they need to be replaced, and then they break that down monthly and they take that amount and actually set it aside monthly. Oh, beautiful. That's what they're supposed to be doing. What's the temperament of the board? That's really hard to quantify. It's kind of one of those things you kind of need to find out for yourself. If you can possibly check the board minutes, it could really reveal a lot of controversies and a lot of issues. So I would highly recommend that you do that. A friend was just telling me yesterday that he joined an HOA. He's probably going to be elected president one of these days. I don't know. I have no idea. I was rolling laughing because I just can't imagine him in that capacity. But he was telling me about it. And at one of their meetings, one of the board members actually got arrested for assault. Just could not believe it. Absolutely could not believe it. It was just absolute mayhem. So if there's issues like that on a condo association board, maybe possibly you want to wait until they have gotten new board members in before you step into that. So something to check into. Lawsuits are another thing, such as the person that got assaulted. I'm sorry, it's still funny. Check and see if there's any pending lawsuits against the association, the board members, and just judgments, because guess who has to pay for those judgments and lawsuits? Yeah, it's the association members, which are the homeowners. So yeah, just keep that in mind that if they do something crazy, you might be on the hook to pay for it. So insurance, what does the association's insurance cover? Trying to get some supplemental insurance may be a good idea, because it may depend. Like if a tree falls on the association, or excuse me, on the condo, it might just be the structure, but what about your personal property inside? So, just be aware of exactly what the insurance covers, and then protect your assets, of course. Debt, how much outstanding debt does the association have? I personally prefer if they don't have any debt. If they are forward-thinking board members, they may not have any. But sometimes the board members take over for somebody else that really believed in debt, and they've been steadily paying it off. So finding out that how much debt the actual association has is very important. Arrears, what percentage of the units are in arrears on their dues? And if they're getting foreclosed on, that's kind of interesting information to know, don't you think? Assessments, does the seller owe back fees or assessments that may become your responsibility when you buy? Check your contracts. In any contract in Florida that I know of, especially the ones we use, they do talk about assessments. So definitely check into that. Neighborhood, what's the neighborhood like? The best thing you can do, and it happens all the time, I will literally go and do it myself. But the best thing you can do is just talk to the neighbors. I mean, don't go and accost them or anything. But if they just happen to be like outside and they're just like, maybe they're just sitting on their balcony or their porch or whatever, it might be a good idea to say, hey, do you happen to, know what cable company is? Whatever. Just ask a question and kind of get the conversation rolling. And, especially here in Ocala, they're all really great about just chit-chatting. Everybody's just curious about everybody else. It's just kind of a thing. So ask the neighbors. And I also normally recommend, if you're trying to figure out the neighborhood and what people are like or whatever, go there at different times, because a neighborhood is different sometimes from like noon on a Wednesday to 7-8 o'clock on a Friday to 2 p.m. on a Saturday. It's a completely different neighborhood. So check a couple different times and make sure of what you're getting. So, I mean, if it's got like a big old cool block party, that's awesome for some people and a nightmare for others. Depends on if you're an introvert. Parking. Oh, please check that. There are 2 questions I want you to ask. Is one, does the unit come with parking, and are they assigned reserved spots? And then if you can find out about guest parking, that's awesome. RV parking is another thing. So I said 2 questions, but it's more like 4 or 5. But still, parking is a serious thing. And that's where it goes in that. All right. And make sure, what if you have a few people over? What if you need, is it just one guest parking spot? Is it multiple? Do they have a parking lot set aside they can do that? Just find out about parking. It's such a serious thing. Storage. Well, you have extra storage space for bikes, paddle boards, kayaks, stuff like that. I know it seems silly, but it's Florida. We're basically outside a lot. And so, yeah, find out if you have extra storage space, or if you can get extra storage space for that kind of stuff. Some condos come with garages, but not all of them. Most don't, at least around here. Management. Is the association managed by a qualified professional company? You can have a CAM, community association manager, but they might not be that experienced. They may be, this might be the only place they've ever managed. So just find out if it's a company that's managing it or just a person that's managing it, what their experience level is, because they're the ones that really kind of advise the board. So yeah, you want to make sure that that person really knows what they're doing. So feel free to chat with them. They're normally swamped, crazy busy, but if you can get in touch with them, that might be a great way to find out how qualified that company or that person is. Complaints. Does management handle owners' requests and complaints quickly? That is really kind of difficult to find out for yourself. You're going to have to ask the seller, ask the neighbors. But normally when you ask the neighbors, they have, no problem sharing their opinions on that. Just make sure and take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Rent. Do association rules limit your ability to rent the unit? This is really important as well because, you know, things happen, things change. Maybe you have to go and take care of relatives or something for an extended period of time and you want to rent out your unit. You may or may not have the ability to do that. I know in 55 plus communities, there are often, I don't think there's a single 55 plus community that doesn't have restrictions on renting. Normally they will allow you to rent. I say normally, it's a broad term around here. I don't know about your area, but for around here, it really just depends on the association. Some of them it's 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's different if it's furnished or unfurnished. It's broad term. So check into that. It should be right into their rules and restrictions. In fact, the rules and restrictions are the other thing that you should be checking because you got to make sure that you can live with their restrictions, their rules, their association, their rules. So check and see. If you would like a copy of that, just go ahead and let me know. Our website is GER.ExpectationsRealty.com. And my Calendly link is right on there. So feel free to get in touch with me and we will get you that 20 questions when buying a condo. And if you have a condo up for sale or you're thinking about putting up a condo for sale, well, contact me. I would love to help you with that. But if you would like the questions for that, that's fine too. And it might be something that will help you to get your condo sold as quickly as possible because these are the most frequently asked questions, or they should be. So, all right, things coming up in Ocala to do. Oh my goodness, there's so much. There's always so much stuff to do. Okay, so we have this weekend. I've got like this weekend and I've got next weekend. But of course we have the Ocala Downtown Market. That is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's on the corner of Southeast 3rd Street and Southeast 3rd Avenue. They've got vendors, fresh produce, food trucks, live music, coffee, and mimosas. It is pet friendly. I've seen lots of different pets there. They've got arts and crafts, and of course it's kid friendly too. They've even got a playground outside. So really a lot of fun. Love the live music they have going on, and just the whole thing is just a lot of fun. They have Beauty and the Beast, the musical is playing from May 12th to June 5th over at the Ocala Civic Theater. If you ever get the chance to go and see one of the plays or musicals at the Ocala Civic Theater, I highly recommend that you do. We have never ever had a bad one. They're always awesome. Absolutely amazing. So highly recommend that you do that. There is a ladies' night out, and that is going to be on May 12th. It's at the CF Vintage Farms, and it's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So get your girls together for a night of shopping, socializing. There's a charcuterie table, apparently a charcuterie board. I can't even hardly say it. Charcuterie board is not big enough anymore, so they've got a whole charcuterie table. They've got free selfie photos. They've got a free facial. And you get a complimentary drink. So please stop out for that. Over at the Lodge downtown, there's always something going on at the Lodge. There really is. But they actually have dueling pianos. It's every second Friday. So the next one is on May 13th. It's from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. But I would check the Lodge online and see what other stuff is going on. It seems like every night they've got something really interesting and fun going on. So check that. All right. Levitt Amp Ocala Music Series. That is Fridays. Pretty much every Friday night from May 13th to July 1st from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. over at Webb Field. It is an awesome time. You have to go to it. That is at 1501 West Silver Springs. And it's basically, they've got 10 shows. They've got 20 artists. And then they've got cultural arts in the not-for-profit intermissions. And then they've got one public art project. But it's all kind of completed through that 10-week music series. And this week it's the Brine Brothers and Scott Jackson. So very cool. Discovery Night for Adults is coming up. This is Sippin' Science. This is for ages 21 plus. So I'm thinking there's going to be alcohol involved. So should be interesting. So this one is Normally it's for 18 and older. And what they do is they take the kids museum, the Discovery Center downtown over, it's right across from Tuscaloosa over by the Riley Arts Center. Anyway, so the Discovery Center is a kids hands-on science museum, and they basically have it set up just for adults, and you get to basically try everything out, and they've got like really fun games and stuff to do. So really great time. Absolutely amazing time. I loved it. My husband and I went, my husband was like, we really could have just gone to dinner. He was like, he wasn't like really hands-on. I got to hold a tarantula. That was pretty cool. That was like right up there. Okay, so I had a brilliant time. I thought it was amazing. My husband was just like, this is so different. I don't know about this. So he's more like, you know, going to a musical and like theater and stuff like that. I'm more like, I want to actually go and physically do something. So, so we just kind of try and mix it up. Both of us do this kind of stuff. So, once in a while you'll have a musical that is hands-on. It's very fun. Anyway, so that is at the Ocala Discovery Center. It's $16 per ticket or $30 for 2 tickets. And absolutely cannot tell you how much fun I had. The games alone, I was laughing for like a week about the games. It was just, it really was a blast. So don't be nervous, go. And they do have snacks and stuff like that too. So you will have fun, I promise. The World Equestrian Center, they have their Blueberry Festival on Saturday, May 14th. They've got a 5K fun run that begins at 8 a.m. and then they've got a pancake breakfast at 9 a.m. and then a farmer's market 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So that is like a fun-filled day right there. So do the 5K and then immediately stop and have some pancakes. So very cool. I wonder if they're going to be blueberry pancakes. That would make sense, right? This week we have Spookala. That is the World Equestrian Center Expo Center. And they actually have day passes. Let's see. The day passes are $20 to $35 and $50 for the weekend pass. And then they're also going to have like after parties at the Tipsy Skipper and Mutiny Bars downtown. Should be interesting. I'm not really sure what Spookala is. But it looks interesting. So maybe take a look at that. Looks like the World Equestrian Center is the place to be though. They have a sing-along coming over at the Marion Theater. And of course, it's Grease. So I don't know if John Travolta is going to show up or anything, but it would be pretty cool. I mean, how cool is that to like do a Grease sing-along and he's there? Oh, be cool. I don't know. Anyway. But yes, over at the Marion Theater, they have the Grease sing-along. They've also got Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope is playing. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I haven't seen that in forever. Rebel Without a Cause and The Tale of Despero. So it should be a lot of fun over at the Marion Theater. Okay. I think that is it for me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or other, go ahead and hit us up online at GER.ExpectationsRealty.com. If you are interested in any of our property management, go ahead and hit us up at GER.ExpectationsPM.com. And if you just want to have a real quick Zoom appointment or something like that, you can get a hold of us at that GER.ExpectationsRealty.com, and the Calendly links are there. So go for it. All right, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And if you have found anything entertaining or educational about this show, please click the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then you will be alerted when new videos come out. And if it's really been entertaining and really educational, share it with a friend or family member so they can enjoy it as well. Talk to you guys later. Bye.